Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future.
I've been working all year this year. I got really burnt out. I decided to schedule 2 weeks off, and I've been feeling a bit like those Eastern European gentlemen watching building sites. I had no time, and now I have all the time in the world. I've been performing various activities. I listen to music. I go to the gym every night. I watch Dota tournament. I've been sketching some comics too, drawing things I enjoy, like horizontal lines and space shuttles. I've been consuming more liminal and abstract media. These 2 weeks off have been a recalibration of sorts. I thought being young was knowing you won't find answers to your questions until you're older, but as I got older I realized I had to move past those questions, working around them until they became obsolete. I wanted to know everything about myself and the world, and I have time to do neither. I remember when I was 20 when I first put a small piece of paper under my tongue, and for the first time in my whole life it felt like I stopped walking forward and stared upwards into the sun. I became an outside observer. I had to ask myself, how do I really want to spend the briefest of moments I have here? Well, I have long-term goals. I'm in a good place to achieve everything I desire eventually, so my thoughts go toward the present. How much do we sacrifice day to day? Because for me, staying creative during the work week is the only way I feel good about working so much. Sure, I can justify it to myself. I work for money, and money leads to my long-term goals, but the rational side of my mind and the emotional side become dissonant and conflicted over this. I sometimes spend shifts thinking about all the things I'd create to make myself happy if I had more time. I don't desire a life without work. I think it's good for me in many ways. There's just a malaise there, something I can't quite express in words. I think about how I'll look back on my life when I'm on my deathbed way too much to be healthy, some kind of constant existential anxiety. I am afraid of working my life away. There is a distinction between living life and expressing it, and it runs parallel to truly knowing yourself. I used to overthink all of the formative experiences I've been through, every relationship, every standard drink. But you didn't make those choices, your past self did. You chose something not knowing what you know now, and every day I make a similarly blind call, trusting myself to roll with whatever comes of it. 2018 had some of the heaviest shit I've ever been through, but those were all lessons that I needed. 2019 was recovery and processing. 2020 was full of quarantine, existential dread. In 2021, I made films that made me happy and I bought myself a car. 2022 was the endless grind of work and unhealthy relationships. Every year in my life has been like this. One step forward, then a pause. As a good friend of mine once said, change is hard for me to accept, yet I do it all the time. So what's the verdict on my 2 weeks of leave? Well, I've created a lot of things I'm happy with. My mental health stabilized and improved, and I've been getting good at Kart DS again. William James wrote that awareness of our inevitable, unavoidable deaths is the worm at the core of human existence. However, William James was not alive long enough to go snaking across Yoshi Falls and set a lap time record. To tell you the truth, the present is better than the past simply because it is happening all the time.